Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most famous buildings in the entire world. It's more than just a palace. It's a symbol of a nation, a working royal residence, and a treasure trove of history. That's right, we're talking about the one and only Buckingham Palace. So, picture this. You're walking down the Mall in London, this grand ceremonial route, with Union Jack flags flapping in the breeze. And there it is, at the very end. This immense, majestic building that just takes your breath away. That's Buckingham Palace. It's not just big, it's colossal. We're talking 775 rooms. It includes 19 staterooms, 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, and 78 bathrooms. Can you even imagine trying to find the right bathroom in a place that big? And right out front, you have the iconic Victoria Memorial, a massive monument dedicated to Queen Victoria. It's the perfect spot to snap that classic photo with the golden angel of victory gleaming at the top. But the real show often happens right at the gates. Of course, you can't talk about Buckingham Palace without mentioning the changing of the guard. This is pure British pageantry at its finest. You've got the King's Guard, with their iconic tall furry hats, which are called bearskins, by the way, and their bright red tunics. It's this incredibly precise, formal ceremony where the new guard takes over from the old guard. The whole thing is accompanied by a military band playing everything from traditional marches to surprisingly modern pop songs. It's a must-see, but get there early because the crowds are massive. Now, have you ever wondered how the palace came to be? Its story is fascinating. It didn't start out as the grand royal residence we know today. Originally, it was a much smaller townhouse known as Buckingham House, built in 1703 for the Duke of Buckingham. It was just a nice, large London home. Then, in 1761, King George III bought it for his wife, Queen Charlotte. As a comfortable family home close to St. James's Palace, it was even known as the Queen's House. It wasn't until the 19th century, under King George IV, that things really kicked into high gear. He hired the famous architect John Nash to transform the house into a proper palace. Nash went all out, adding new wings and creating the grand neoclassical façade we recognize. But as with many grand projects, it went way over budget. The first monarch to actually live there, though, was Queen Victoria. She moved in 1837, just 3 weeks after her accession to the throne. But she found the palace was a bit lacking. There weren't enough bedrooms for visitors, and it didn't have a proper nursery. So another wing was added, the East Wing, which enclosed the central courtyard. And it's S on the balcony of this wing, the famous Buckingham Palace balcony, that the royal family has gathered for public appearances ever since. Think royal weddings, coronations, trooping the color. It's the world's most famous balcony. What's really amazing is that Buckingham Palace isn't just a museum. It's a living, breathing, working building. It's the administrative headquarters of the monarch. This is where the king carries out his official duties. He holds meetings with the prime minister, receives foreign ambassadors, and hosts state banquets for visiting heads of state. These banquets are incredibly elaborate affairs held in the magnificent ballroom, the largest room in the palace. Imagine the history that is unfolded within those walls. And inside, the palace is just as grand as you'd imagine. The staterooms are opulent, lavish, and just jaw-dropping. They are decorated with some of the greatest treasures from the royal collection. We're talking priceless paintings by artists like Rembrandt, Rubens, and Canaletto. There are exquisite sculptures, fine porcelain, and some of the most beautiful antique furniture you'll ever see. Each room has its own character. There's the throne room, which, as you might guess, contains the thrones used for ceremonies. There's the white drawing room, which is often used for small gatherings and as a reception room for the royal family before official events. Then there's the picture gallery, a long room designed specifically to showcase a rotating selection of masterpieces from the royal collection. It's like having your own private world-class art museum. For most of the year, these rooms are off limits to the public. But for a few short weeks every summer, when the king is not in residence, the palace throws open its doors. Visitors can take a tour through the staterooms and get a first-hand look at all this splendor. It is an absolutely unforgettable experience. You walk the same hallways as kings, queens, and world leaders. It's like stepping directly into a history book. But the palace isn't just the building itself. Behind it lies a hidden oasis in the heart of London, the Buckingham Palace Garden. At 42 acres, it's the largest private garden in the city. It has its own lake, a helicopter pad, a tennis court, and over 350 types of wildflowers. It's a crucial habitat for wildlife. Every summer, the king hosts his famous garden parties here, where thousands of people from all walks of life are invited to the palace in recognition of their public service. It's a tradition that goes all the way back to Queen Victoria. The palace has been at the center of national life for centuries, in good times and in bad. During World War II, the palace was bombed 9 times. King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen Mother, famously refused to leave London. Their presence at the palace became a huge morale booster for the British people. When the chapel was destroyed in a bombing raid, the Queen Mother reportedly said, "I'm glad we have been bombed. It makes me feel I can look the East End in the face." It showed that the royal family was sharing the dangers and hardships of their people. Of course, we've seen so many iconic moments happen here. Celebrations for the end of the war, the joy of royal weddings, the solemnity of national mourning. When people gather in London for a major national event, they flock to the gates of Buckingham Palace. It's a focal point, a place of shared experience for the entire nation, and indeed the world. Let's not forget the Royal Mews, which is also part of the Buckingham Palace complex and open to the public. This is where the royal carriages and cars are kept. You can see the Gold State Coach, this incredible fairy tale carriage that has been used at every coronation since 1831. It's just enormous and so ornate. It looks like something straight out of a Disney movie. You can also see the horses that pull the carriages, the beautiful Windsor Greys and Cleveland Bays. So, what's the flag situation? It's actually pretty simple. When you see the royal standard, that's the monarch's personal flag flying over the palace, it means the king is at home. If he's not in residence, you'll see the Union Jack flying instead. So next time you see a picture, you'll know if the monarch is in the house. From a private home for a duke to the official residence of the British monarch, Buckingham Palace has evolved and adapted over 300 years. It's a symbol of continuity, a stage 4 ceremony, a family home, and an office. It's a place where history is not only preserved, but is made every single day. It represents the story of a nation, its traditions, its triumphs, and its endurance. Whether you're standing outside its gates watching the guards, taking a tour of its magnificent staterooms, simply admiring it from afar, there's no denying the power and the presence of Buckingham Palace. It truly is one of a kind. Thanks so much for joining me on this tour today. What's your favorite fact about Buckingham Palace? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more adventures into the world's most incredible places. See you next time.